So far, 31 House members and 7 senators are not seeking re-election next year. Congressman Bryan Steil with us this morning. Congressman, why are so many people ditching Congress?
Well, it's a pretty hostile political environment right now across the country, and it's taxing, I think, on a lot of people. But I think the reason we're seeing Democrats and Republicans coming off is it's exhausting, sometimes fighting the Biden administration and their continued executive overreach. Everything from trying to cancel student loans to driving forward an ESG agenda through our capital markets. But it's all the more reason we have to double down at a period of time where we see our country trying to be taken over by the radical left.
It's just very hard to get something done in this Congress, isn't it?
It's incredibly difficult, especially so with a narrow majority, both in the House and in the Senate, and at a period of time where this Biden administration tries to run roughshod over Congress. And so the fact that this administration continues to use executive action to drive forward their agenda is a huge challenge and a need for Congress to really reinstate our authority under the Constitution. In
the forthcoming election, 2024, some senators are out, 31 House members are out. Does the re-election, does this favor the Democrats or the Republicans? I mean, I'm questioning which senators are out, who's going to replace them, which congresspeople are out, who's going to replace them. Does it favor Republicans or Democrats at this stage?
I'd say it's neutral at this stage. Some of these seats are in overall safe hands in Republican or Democratic side. A few of them are in more toss-up districts. There's going to be more retirements between now and filing deadlines across the country. So I would say we continue to have a jump ball here in the House, which is why protecting and making sure we don't allow the gavel to go back into Democratic hands is going to be essential over the course of the next year.
You're not tired of fighting the good fight yet, Congressman?
Well, there's times where I get on my plane and come out to Washington where I want to pound my head against a brick wall, but this is a country that's worth fighting for, and I'm going to continue the work.
I want to change the subject for a second. There's a museum in Wisconsin, your state. It's under fire for featuring this. I'm going to put it on the screen. This is the Satanic Tree. They've got this annual tree festival, and the Satanic Tree appears there. Your fellow Congressman Mike Gallagher calls it cultural propaganda. Watch this.
What's happening is we're just trying to defend basic traditions or defend our children in the midst of these basic traditions from the encroachment of woke ideology or offensive, upside-down cultural propaganda.
Congressman, what's your response to this Satanic Tree?
Well, what the left is trying to do is trying to shut down people expressing their Christmas traditions. And so what they're really doing is mocking the essence of Christmas, that it's light, that it's hope, it's the birth of Christ. And what they want to do at the end of the day is utilize their First Amendment right to prevent other people from putting up Christmas displays in the first place. And what we can't allow them to do is to win. So it's all the more imperative that during this holiday season, we go out and we express our Christian pride in Christmas as a holiday of light and of hope, and display Christmas celebrations across the country to really show that they're not going to shut us down.
Well, should it be removed?
Well, there's a whole First Amendment set of laws on this. The ultimate answer here is to not allow them to win. And what they're really trying to do is to prevent public facilities from putting up Christmas decorations in the first place. And so the way we ultimately win on this is by not backing down and continuing to put up our Christmas decorations during the holiday season.
Well, there's no suggestion that because there's this Satanic Tree, Christian decorations will not be put up. There's no suggestion of that, is there?
Well, we do see a lot of public places backing down and saying, don't put anything up. We had another location in Wisconsin in a city hall that they were recommending not putting up green and red decorations because it might offend someone. And so we do see other public locations choosing not to put up any Christmas decoration for fear of someone coming in and using their First Amendment to drive forward this mockery of Christmas that we see. The First Amendment gives certain rights. The way to fight back against this is to stand strong and to really put forward Christmas decorations during the season.
Well said, sir. Bryan Steil from Wisconsin. Thanks for joining us, sir. We hope you can come and see us again soon. Thank you very much.